Hello viewers, in this video I would like to discuss functions of complex variable. So functions of complex variables provide tools to understand and solve various problems like definite integrals, integral transform, heat flow problems, potential theory, fluid mechanics, electromagnetic theory and many other problems of science and engineering. Now let's see mathematical representation of function of complex variables. Now we see its mathematics. What is functions of complex variables? Suppose we have a function of complex variables, say w is equal to fz is equal to z square. Then z is a complex number here and w will be a complex number because z is a complex number. Therefore w will have real and imaginary parts because z also is having real and imaginary, and because w is depending on z, so w will be having real and imaginary parts. And here this is the example that we are taking w as z square. Now we write down value of z in terms of x plus iy. Z is a function of x and y. So when we write complex number, z is equal to x plus iy. We know this, we have done in 12th. So z square is x plus iy square. Now we open the square and we get this value x square plus 2ixy minus y square. We collect the real terms. Real terms are x square minus y square and imaginary term is I into 2xy. So this is imaginary term and this is real term. So we write down that real term as u and imaginary term as v. These are the standard notations as we have in z, which is x plus iy, and for w this is u plus iv. So we can write down the complex variable function or functions of complex variable. So w is equal to x square minus y square plus I 2xy, and we can write it as u plus iv. So u and v are functions of x and y. So we can write down u as x square minus y square, which we have taken from previous slide, because w is equal to fz is equal to z square and v is equal to 2xy. So u and v are functions of x and y. And what is x? X is a real variable. What is y? Y is a real variable. It means u and v are functions of two real variables. So a complex function of one complex variable, that is z, is really two real functions, that is u and v, of two real variables, that is x and y. So that is the case here, and we can write down w is equal to fz is equal to u xy plus I v xy. Now we map the function, this w, and we see how the graph can be plotted. So function mapping operation, to represent w is equal to fz graphically, we take two Argand diagrams, one to represent the point z and the other to represent w. The former diagram is called the z plane and the latter the w plane. Corresponding to each point P in z plane, we get a point P dash in w plane. So P in z and w in w plane P dash, called the mapping of P into P dash by the function we fz. Have this z plane because we know z is equal to x plus iy. So x is denoted on x-axis, y on y-axis, and we can plot points here. Similarly, we can show w plane where we have u plus iv. So w is having u as x-axis and y-axis as v-axis, and here we can plot the points. The function wxy is equal to uxy plus ivxy maps the points in the xy plane into points in uv plane, that is w plane. So they are corresponding to each other. So now let's have definition of complex function. If corresponding to each value of a complex variable z is equal to x plus iy, there corresponds one or more values of a complex variable w is equal to u plus iv, then w is called a function of z and denoted by w is equal to fz is equal to u plus iv. For example, we have fz is equal to z square, and this is our second example. Here we should have comma, fz is equal to mod z. So these are the examples. If to each value of z there corresponds one and only one value of w, then w is called a single value function of z. For example, w is equal to z square, which is equal to fz, of course. If to each value of z there corresponds more than one value of w, so in w plane we will be having 2 or 3 points, and in z plane only one point, then w is called a multi-valued function of z. For example, w is equal to z to the power half or under root z. So under root z will be plus minus value, and w will be having correspondingly two values. One will correspond to plus value, plus under root z, and another is minus under root z. Graphically, the relation w is equal to fz, f is a function of z, maps a point z in z plane. So this is our z plane here, and to a corresponding point w in w plane. So we can have this z point in z plane, and this is the corresponding point w in w plane, and it means that the point w in w plane approaches the point w0. This is the point here w0, and this is the point z0. So w approaches w0 when z approaches z0. So this is the condition, and we can see here that closed circle around w0 as well as around z0, and the radius are epsilon and delta respectively. So now we can discuss limit of a complex function with the help of these and a new figure where we will see function also. So a complex number z tends to a fixed number z0, which is equal to x0 plus iy0, and here we can see in the figure that z is approaching z0. So we can have many paths from z to z0, and when it is happening when x is tending to x0 and y is tending to y0. So it can be made of infinite number of ways from different directions, as we can see in this figure. Now the limit is that for each positive number epsilon, however small, there corresponds a positive number delta such that fz minus f0 is less than delta in figure 4. In next figure I will show you. Whenever 0 is less than z minus z0 less than delta. So whenever this condition is there, then we can see that fz minus fz0 is less than epsilon. So let's see these both conditions in figure. So first fz minus fz0 is less than epsilon. We see here that in this figure we have this plane where real of W, that is U, if we think of in terms of U and V, and imaginary of W is V, and this is Fz0. So Fz will be somewhere inside this circle, and then suppose here, then this Fz minus Fz0, which is the straight line, is less than epsilon, that is the radius of this circle. Z minus Z0 is less than delta in the definition of limit when we are taking, and similarly we can see that, and this is real of Z, that is X, and imaginary of Z, that is Y, and Z0 is this point, midpoint, the center of this circle. Z will be somewhere here, say here. Then this Z minus Z0 mod is less than delta. Delta is this radius of this disk, and these are the conditions which have been given in the definition of limit. So now let W is equal to Fz be a function of Z, which we have seen again and again in the previous slides, and let uxy and vxy denote the real and imaginary part of W, because W is equal to u plus iv. Let W0 is equal to u0 plus iv0, this is the number, be a fixed complex number. Then the limit of Fz as Z tends to Z0 is W0, and is written as limit Fz is equal to W0 when Z tends to Z0, if and only if limit of uxy is equal to u0 when x tends to x0 and y tends to y0, and limit of vxy is equal to v0 when x tends to x0 and y tends to y0. So this is the definition of the limit with the graphical and mathematical definition. Continuity of a complex function. A function f is said to be continuous at z is equal to z0 if the following three conditions are satisfied. Limit z tends to z0, fz exists, fz0 exists, this is the second condition, and third, when z tends to z0, limit fz is equal to fz0. So if these three conditions are satisfied, function is continuous. Now let's talk about derivative of a complex function. Let w is equal to fz be a function of complex variable z, and let z0 plus delta z0, this point is denoting a neighborhood of a fixed point z0. So we can write down derivative f dash z by the following relation, that f dash z0 is equal to limit z delta z0 tends to 0, f z0 plus delta z0 minus f z0 upon delta z0. This is similar to as we do in our one variable function, that is algebraic function. It's similar to that only. The derivative of w is also denoted by dw upon dz, and we can write dw upon dz is equal to limit delta z tends to 0 del w upon del z. So this is another notation where del w indicates the change in w corresponding to change delta z in z. So this is second form of the derivative, and for the limit to exist, del w upon del z must approach the same limiting value when delta z tends to 0 along different paths. So if all values are same, then the limit will exist, otherwise not. When this limit exists, we say the function is examining the differentiability of fz, which is equal to z bar, which is conjugate of the function z. So we use the standard differentiability formula, and we substitute value as z bar, and we simplify it. We get limit delta z tends to 0 del z bar upon del z. We write down values in form of x and y. So this becomes delta z becomes delta x and delta y tends to 0. And this is the conjugate, so delta x minus I delta y upon delta x plus I delta y. We take two different paths. First is delta y is 0. In second path we take delta x tends to 0. So delta x as 0 and delta y as 0 we are taking. So first is delta y is 0. We substitute delta y 0. We get this value, and which is equal to 1. Now in this we are writing delta x as 0. So we will put delta x as 0 in the function, and our delta y is known to 0, which is tending to 0, and it gives minus 1. So values of limits are different, therefore limit does not exist. And let's do one more example, and this is find out differential coefficient of z cube, and we use second formula, dw upon dz is equal to limit delta z tends to 0 del w upon del z. So basically right hand side is same as we did in the previous formula. So we write down limit delta z tends to 0 z plus delta z cube, that is fz plus delta z, and minus fz. So this is z cube upon delta z. So we simplify it and we get the value 3z square, that is the differential of z cube. So we can see that various formula obtained for differential coefficients of real functions hold for functions of a